It's fantastic to have you with us as we take a closer look at Ulta Beauty's performance in the third quarter of 2024.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how they've been navigating this ever-changing market.
It definitely is. Let's start with the big news. Ulta exceeded revenue expectations, hitting $2.53 billion in sales. That's a 1.7% increase year over year.
That's pretty significant. A lot of retailers are struggling right now. It says a lot about how strong their position is.
And their earnings per share. Ulta hit $5.14, a 13.6% gain over what analysts were predicting. What do you think that says about their approach?
Well, it seems like they're doing a good job managing costs. They're not just bringing in more revenue, they're also optimizing their profitability.
It's definitely working for them. And it looks like they're confident about keeping up this momentum. Ulta raised their projections for the full year. Now they're expecting revenue to reach $11.15 billion and earnings per share to be $23.48 billion.
That upward revision is a big deal. It shows how confident they are in their plan for the rest of the year.
One of the things that's always made Ulta so interesting is how they've positioned themselves in the market. They have everything from high-end prestige brands to more affordable mass market lines.
It's a smart strategy, especially with how the economy is right now. People want value, but they don't want to sacrifice quality.
And it seems like their expansion efforts are playing a big part in their success, too. Over the past 2 years, they've been opening new stores at an average annual rate of 3.1%. That's faster than the overall consumer retail sector. What do you think about this approach?
I think it shows they see a lot of opportunity for growth. They're confident they can attract customers to these new locations. What has their sales growth been like?
Their sales have grown at a compounded annual rate of 9.5% over the past 5 years. So it's not just about opening new stores. They're filling them with customers, too.
That's really important. Now, historically, they've had some really impressive same-store sales growth, but this quarter, those numbers were flat year over year. Could that be a sign of a larger trend in the beauty market, or do you think it's temporary?
That's a great question. What factors do you think might be at play?
Well, I think the economy is definitely a factor. People are being more careful about how they spend their money.
It makes sense. And there's also more competition in the market now.
That's true. The beauty and cosmetics sector is so dynamic, and there are new companies popping up all the time.
And e-commerce is a big factor, too.
Yeah,
More and more people are buying beauty products online.
definitely. How do you think Ulta is handling these changes?
Well, they've definitely been making investments in their digital capabilities.
Mhm.
Their website and their mobile app are much better now.
And they've been doing a good job with their omni-channel strategy, too. Things like buy online, pick up in-store.
Right. It's all about giving customers options and making the experience as seamless as possible, no matter how they choose to shop.
I think it shows that they understand their customer base and how their needs are changing.
And they're willing to adapt. That's going to be essential for them to continue to be successful as this market keeps evolving.
I agree. Adaptability is key in this industry.
So let's talk about the broader market. What other trends are you seeing in the beauty and cosmetics industry?
One of the biggest trends is the demand for clean beauty products. People are really paying attention to ingredients now, and they want products that are free of harsh chemicals and ethically sourced.
I've definitely noticed that too. Sustainability is becoming more and more important to consumers.
Absolutely. And there's a growing demand for personalized beauty, too.
Right. People want products that are tailored to their specific needs and skin type.
And technology is playing a big role in that. Companies are using things like artificial intelligence to create customized product recommendations.
It's pretty amazing how quickly technology is changing things in this industry.
It's all about making beauty more personal and relevant to the individual. So even with the challenges that they're facing, like those flat same-store sales this quarter, I think Ulta is in a good position.
It's a very interesting time for the industry, and it'll be interesting to see how Ulta navigates these trends moving forward.
I agree. Their journey will be fascinating to follow. We were just talking about the flat same-store sales growth this quarter and some of the reasons behind it.
And how those broader trends in beauty and cosmetics, things like the rise of e-commerce, clean beauty, personalized products, are playing a role.
Those trends definitely have an impact on their strategic decisions. And those decisions, of course, affect their financial performance.
Exactly. So let's dive into those financials a little bit more. What stands out to you when you look at their third quarter numbers?
Well, their earnings per share were really impressive, $5.14. Like we said, that was much higher than analysts were expecting.
That's a really strong sign when it comes to their profitability. What factors do you think contributed to that earnings beat?
It's probably a combination of things. Their revenue growth, even though it was modest, is still a factor. And they seem to be managing costs well, which is so important these days.
It does seem like they're striking a good balance there. Their operating margin held steady at 12.6%. They're doing a good job keeping revenue and expenses in check.
Right. And their free cash flow was negative at $171.1 million. But it's actually an improvement from the same quarter last year.
So it sounds like they're managing their cash flow better. That's a good sign.
Their balance sheet overall looks pretty good. Their debt is manageable, and they have a strong cash position.
That financial stability is going to be really important for them, especially with all the uncertainty in the economy right now. They have the flexibility to invest in growth and weather any storms that might be coming.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked about their store expansion strategy. They've been pretty aggressive about opening new locations.
Their total number of stores was up to 1,437 at the end of the quarter.
That's a big jump from 374 stores in the same quarter last year. It's definitely in line with their plan to expand their reach.
But as we've already discussed, those same-store sales were flat this quarter. So it's not as simple as just opening more stores.
You're right, there's more to it than that.
What are some of the other metrics that we should be looking at to evaluate their store performance?
Well, things like average transaction value and the number of transactions per store.
Right, those can give us some insights into customer behavior. Are they spending more on each visit? Are they visiting more often?
Exactly. And it's also helpful to see how those metrics vary across different locations.
So their performance in urban areas might be different from their performance in suburban areas, for example.
Right. By analyzing those differences, we can start to understand their operational efficiency, maybe identify some areas for improvement.
So while their overall same-store sales were flat, there could be some areas where they're doing really well and others where they're not.
It just shows that you can't always rely on those top-level numbers. Sometimes you have to dig a little deeper.
It's about understanding the nuances and the trends that are driving their performance.
Now, let's think about this in the context of the bigger picture, the overall beauty retail landscape. Earlier, we talked about how Ulta is adapting to the rise of e-commerce by investing in their digital capabilities.
Right. And they're using their physical stores strategically as part of their omnichannel approach.
They're offering things like buy online, pick up in-store, and curbside pickup.
Those are great options for people who want the convenience of shopping online, but also want to get their products quickly.
It's all about meeting customers where they are, making the experience seamless.
And we also talked about the growing demand for clean beauty products.
Ulta has been expanding their selection of clean beauty brands, and they've been promoting them to customers.
They even started a clean beauty certification program to help customers identify products that meet their standards.
Those are some really smart moves to address the changing preferences of their customer base.
They're also doing a lot to meet the demand for personalized beauty, too. They have services like skin analysis and personalized product recommendations.
It's all about tailoring the experience. What are your thoughts on how they're doing in this area?
I think they're definitely making progress when it comes to adapting to the changing landscape of beauty retail.
I agree. They're innovating, they're investing in technology, they're expanding their offerings. But like we've seen, it's not without its challenges.
The retail environment is always changing, and the competition is fierce. They're going to have to stay agile.
You're right. It's an ongoing process.
So what do you see as some of the biggest challenges they're going to face moving forward?
Well, maintaining that growth trajectory in a mature market is going to be tough. They're going to have to find new ways to attract customers.
The economy is another big question mark. Inflation could have a real impact on consumer spending.
Absolutely. And the competitive landscape is constantly shifting. New companies are emerging all the time.
It's a dynamic environment. They're going to have to keep adapting and innovating.
I agree.
But Ulta has a solid track record.
Yeah.
And their management team is strong. They've proven they can handle challenges.
They have. They always seem to come out on top.
It'll be interesting to see how they continue to evolve.
I agree. It's a fascinating story to follow.
We've covered a lot of ground in our analysis of Ulta's third quarter performance, everything from their earnings to their strategic initiatives.
Their store expansion strategy, their omnichannel approach, the growing demand for clean and personalized beauty. A lot to think about.
So as we wrap up, let's try to distill some of the key takeaways here. What are the most important things for investors and industry observers to keep in mind about Ulta's position and their future?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that Ulta is still a leader in the beauty retail sector. They have strong brand recognition, their product assortment is great, and they have a loyal customer base. That gives them a really solid foundation.
And they've been very good at adapting to the changing market. E-commerce, clean beauty, personalization. They're embracing all of it.
They really have been ahead of the curve on those trends, but of course there are still challenges like those flat same-store sales this quarter.
It shows that they can't afford to slow down. They have to keep innovating and finding new ways to engage customers.
Absolutely. Investors will be watching closely to see how they address those challenges and keep that growth going.
The beauty and cosmetics industry is so competitive, they have to stay agile.
It's all about execution now. How well can they put those strategic initiatives into practice?
So it sounds like Ulta's third quarter performance was a bit of a mixed bag. Strong earnings, but some signs of slowing growth. They have a lot of opportunities, but also some challenges ahead.
It's been a really interesting conversation. Ulta is such a fascinating company to watch. They're at the forefront of this constantly evolving industry.
It really has. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Ulta's world. We hope you found it informative.
It's been a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.